I sat on the edge of our bed, knees pulled up to my chest, staring at the floor like it had answers. My boyfriend stood near the door, arms crossed, his jaw tight. He was frustrated. I could feel it in the air between us. "Do we really have to talk about this again?" he asked, his voice edged with exhaustion. "Yes," I whispered, forcing myself to look at him. "Because you still don't get it?" He let out a sharp breath, rubbing his forehead. "It's just sex, babe." His words made me flinch. I hated that he said it like that, like it was some casual throwaway thing. Like it wasn't breaking me inside. "It's not just sex," I said, my voice shaking. "It's when we do it, how we do it, why we do it. You always want it at night after dinner when I feel full and drained. And then you want it to last for hours. I can't do that every time. I don't want to." His brow furrowed, his frustration growing. "But we don't do it enough." "Enough for who?" I cut him off, my voice rising. "We've never gone a full week without it. And still, you act like I'm neglecting you." He let out a rough exhale, pacing the room. "It's because it doesn't feel enough when we do. It's not the same." I swallowed hard, his words cutting deeper than he realized. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Maybe because I don't feel the same." Silence, thick, heavy. His expression shifted, and he came to sit beside me on the bed. "What's going on with you?" he asked, softer now. I hesitated. Did I tell him? Did I let him see the cracks in me, the places I hadn't healed? Because the truth was, I didn't feel safe with him anymore. I didn't feel wanted in the right way. I had never fully recovered from it. Her, the girl he had cheated with. Months ago, I had found out through a random DM from a stranger. "Hey, I don't want to start anything, but I think you should know." My heart had pounded as I scrolled through the screenshots, the late-night texts, the deleted messages, the flirty conversations that he had denied at first, then finally admitted to when I shoved the proof in his face. I had stayed, I had tried to forgive, but every time he touched me, I wondered, had he touched her like this? Had he kissed her the way he kissed me? And now, he wanted sex all the time, more than ever. And I couldn't shake the thought, was it because I wasn't enough anymore? Or was it because he missed what she had given him? Or worse, was there someone else again? His phone had been buzzing a lot lately. He had been coming home later and later from work. And there was that girl, the one in his office, Madison. I had met her once at a work event. She was friendly, a little too friendly. The way she laughed at his jokes. The way she touched his arm when she spoke. He had told me she was just a coworker, but now, I wasn't so sure. "Why are you so quiet?" he asked, snapping me back to the moment. I clenched my jaw. I don't trust you the way I used to." His face twisted in pain, but I didn't let myself feel guilty. "Is this still about what happened before?" he asked. "Yes," I admitted. "Because I don't know if it ever stopped happening." He reeled back like I had slapped him. "Are you serious right now?" I turned to face him. "You've been working late almost every night. You've been on your phone, but barely texting me back. And don't tell me I'm crazy for wondering about Madison, because I see the way she looks at you." His nostrils flared. "Are you accusing me of something?" "I don't know. Should I be?" He cursed under his breath, standing up, running a hand through his hair. "You know what? This is exactly why things feel off between us. You won't let go of the past, and now you're making up shit in your head." I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You know what's funny? The fact that I have let go of someone before, and I didn't feel like this with him." The words were out before I could stop them. His whole body tensed. "What the hell does that mean?" I hesitated. I could tell him. I could tell him about my ex. The one I had been thinking about. The one I almost texted last week when I was lying in bed, staring at my phone, feeling alone even though my boyfriend was right beside me. The one who had been checking in. The one who asked, "Are you happy?" The one who made me feel wanted without making me feel guilty for not giving enough. I had been strong. I hadn't answered, but God, I had thought about it. I had thought about him when my boyfriend was on top of me, whispering how much he wanted me. I met my boyfriend's eyes now, his suspicion burning through me. Are you seeing someone else? He asked, his voice dangerously low. I scoffed. Wow, that's what you're worried about? I think I have every right to be, he snapped. You re the one bringing up your ex in the middle of an argument about our sex life? I stood up, crossing my arms. I brought him up because with him, I didn't feel like sex was a test. I didn't feel like I was failing every time I wasn't in the mood. I felt wanted but not pressured. His eyes darkened. So what? You're thinking about getting back with him? I hesitated just a second too long. He laughed bitterly. Wow, unbelievable. I shook my head. I haven't done anything. But you want to talk about unbelievable? Let's talk about you. The late nights, the secretive texts. If anyone should be worried, it's me. We stared at each other, the air thick with tension, both of us daring the other to say what we really meant. That maybe, just maybe, we weren't meant to last. Finally, he exhaled, rubbing his temple. So what do we do? I hesitated, my heart hammering. I should have said, maybe we take a break. I should have said, maybe we don't work anymore. But instead, I sighed. We figure out a middle ground. Some nights, but not for hours. Some mornings, even if you don't like mornings, and you start being honest with me. He studied me like he was trying to decide if I was serious. Can you meet me halfway? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. After a long pause, he nodded. Yeah, I can try. I felt a wave of relief, but it didn't wash away everything underneath. Because the truth was, I had agreed to meet him halfway. But a part of me was still wondering if I should even stay.